Hey everyone, so I'm going to do another video here today. Um, we're talking about magic, we're talking about, how to begin. There's so many questions that everyone usually has, how do I start, what do I do, what's the first thing I should do, things like that. So I will try to address those things. So I have a list that I think I want to work through, a list of about 12 magical ideas, concepts, whatever you want to call them, that I think I want to go through. And I'll be posting them as I make them, so I don't really have that much of a schedule just yet. But I'll give you the topics so that at least you know what we're going to look forward to. So I'm going to talk about magical tools, we're going to talk about magical concepts, magical implements, the elements, planets, entities, spirit guides, meditation, chakras, healing methods, shamanism, and black magic. So we're going to approach all of those topics in as open a form as we possibly can, and hopefully you'll be able to get the gist of it. It's all going to be based on my experience, yes, and the experience of some others, but I do have a ton of material and books and such which I used apart from my actual physical human mentors that trained me, and also my spirit mentors that trained me. So we're going to talk about all of those things pretty soon. So hopefully sometime this weekend I'm going to get some of those videos done. We're going to start with magical tools. So today, well, I'm just going to briefly talk about one of those tools, one of them being the athame, or ritual knife. So as you can see in the background, I've got my altar set up there. So I'm going to just grab that piece right now. Alright, so this is my athame, or ritual knife as we call it. Interesting story about this one. When I was starting out a few years ago and I got into Wicca, of course I found out you have to have an athame. I did find out one of the purposes of the athame, as it being a ritual knife, is that it had to be sharp because you were gathering things like herbs or branches to create your wand and things like that. So it was typically a sharp knife. It was a practical knife. It's also meant to represent a few things, and the few things that the representation was about, I'll just pull up my little note here. So one of the things that it represents as an idea is the fire element, right? Both the positive and the negative aspects of the fire element, and it being iron also was used for protection against beings that, they aren't really that aggressive when iron is around. So it was also used as a controlling tool apart from a protective tool. So there was that aspect of protection and control at the same time. And again, for cutting herbs, we talked about that, and of course the association with control. Now the other type of tool which functions very similar to an athame is the trident. So if you ever come across, somebody has that as one of their tools, it's very, very similar. The difference with the trident, though, is that the trident, having not just one blade, but having two blades on the side like Poseidon's staff, represents control in all three aspects, as we magicians like to call them. Now, I will get into the details of those things later, but just I want you to remember that right now. Now, the three aspects basically are the physical, the astral, and the mental. So just make a note of that now, and then we will discuss that in a later video. So that's basically what the trident all does. Now, apart from that, the trident, being related to Poseidon's staff, also helps to control things not from the fire perspective, but from the water perspective. So those are some of the differences between having just an athame or just having Poseidon's 3/4 trident. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for today. We'll just keep it short, keep it simple, and I hope you have a great day. Keep studying, keep reading. Knowledge is power.